Joe, wake up, man. Wake up. You too good to hang out with your brothers, man?
Man, you know kings don't fool around with peasants, man. Leave me alone.
Boy, I tell you, you ain't gonna never change. You just gonna remain the same old Joe, ain't you?
Man, you know I ain't but one Joe, man. But I gotta tell you about this crazy dream I just had, man. What you guys doing now?
Man, come and get your tail spanked in these spades, man.
Oh, man, I'm the king of spades.
Come on, man.
I'll playing some spades. Come run this quick bossing on you. Get up, Ricky. Get up. Get up, what? What you doing? Let me show you guys some cards, man. Yes, sir. Y'all ready?
This old fake wannabe Jay-Z dude. Man, we was in here having a good time. We don't need your old Kanye West want the spotlight looking butt in here, man. More like Ruben Studdard before American Idol. Wrong with this clown, man.
Dan, what you laughing so hard for, man? You laughing like hard. You should be laughing looking at your old Killer Ann Conway looking girlfriend. As ugly as she is, you need to be quiet. Just hush, man. Let's play these cards, man. You guys play too much, man. Matter of fact, by the way, let me tell y'all something. I gotta tell you this crazy dream I just had. It's gonna be off the chain. Next time we get together, I'm not gonna be in you guys' little small places. It won't be in your shack. It won't be in your little crib. It's gonna be at the mansion. I'm gonna throw y'all guys parties all the time. As a matter of fact, people not gonna call Joe your brothers. They're gonna call you Joe's brother. That's what they're gonna call. I'm gonna be the man. But whatever you need, I got you. We family, we blood. We got the same dad. I got you guys. Need money? I got it. Need clout? I got it. You'll never be peasants again. So guys, just roll with me. Just all I want you to do, when you call my name, put some respect on my name and show some gratitude, because I'm that dude, and you know I am. Peace.
Man, since you already talking crazy, play the card, calm your dumb self down.
Okay. Bam.
Matter of fact, here you go, try some of that. That might help you calm down.
We here like y'all guys. I don't know why you do this fools. I don't want that stuff, man. I ain't no drug head like you fools are. Play the cards, man.
I know you ain't no judge.
I wish you wouldn't.
Play the cards, man.
Chill.
Go on with our Speedy Gonzalez.
Man, I need a drink.
You always drinking.
All right, drink to that.
Why are you so sensitive? Well, pause while you back there.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you some poison. Smell good too.
What? No, I know you got some mental problems. You calm down.
The girl mine's too.
Just hate. We brothers. Good grief. Hey, come on, baby. We got it. I know. Let's show these bones how to do it. Get this thing done. They don't play no card. They don't put it on.
Man, I really hate that dude.
Joe?
Seriously?
Relax, man. You know we feel the same way. I told you we should have got that little baby when he was a kid.
Nah, somebody need to teach him a lesson. Knock him down a few notches. Like 6 feet deep notches. You know, life ain't gonna never get no better until that pest is gone for good.
Look, D, I hear you on that, but you know Ruben ain't finna let nothing like that happen. I'm just saying, dog.
Ruben ain't gonna let nothing like what happen.
Just saying, you been hearing Joe. Been talking about your house like it's a shack. Been talking about this man like he was in 12 years a slave.
Yeah, I heard all of that, but what I didn't hear you saying was what I wasn't gonna let happen.
Bury him.
Are you serious? Bury him? Man, he really got you messed up. That's you letting him beat you, man. Come on, man, bury him. And then what? Prison? Don't mess around and be in OJ's old cell fighting for your virginity.
No, he ain't ready for that.
Decorating with pictures of Cardi B and Riri, man. Come on.
I
That
can
ain't how
see
you
him
get
now.
somebody like that. You're too emotional.
Sad. Second, I told you. I told you.
Shut up! So what is then?
Mama, now you're talking. Look, you ruin him. We ruin him. Take everything he's got. Put all of his failures right out there on display. That's how you beat somebody like that. He'll be running around like a zombie from Walking Dead when we get finished with him. Trust me.
Now see, that's what I'm talking about. Take his car, his girl.
Man, that business deal he about to have. That'll devastate him.
All of that. And I got just the thing that'll do it too. I got that picture of him getting lit.
What?
Send that over to that big executive he always bragging about.
Oh, yeah.
Evan Walker?
Yes, sir.
Let's do this. Let's do it. Lee, go get Ben and Zeb.
Hey, Ben, Zeb, y'all come up here. Me holler at you real quick.
I said go get them.
Give this boy nothing else to drink.
I'm just trying to make everything quicker.
What's up?
Look, I got just the thing. When I get finished with Joe, he gonna never bother us again. Let me tell you about it. We gonna ruin him. We gonna take everything he got. His cars, his house, everything. He ain't gonna have nothing now.
Look, I want his girl. I gotta have his girl.
You can take her too. She ugly anyway. I don't like her.
Big dog, what's happening, man? You just the man I need to see.
What's up with you?
What's happening?
What's up, dog?
Good, man. Hey, you remember that big deal my brother was talking about last night?
Yeah, I think I heard something about it. What's up?
Well, what he was referring to is getting some heavy weight from you.
Okay.
You know, from this big party that he's having. He talking about 100 keys now.
100 keys. That ain't no little boy weight. That's a lot. I don't know what my boss going for all that.
Man, you trying to get to the big leagues or not? Now, you talking about getting up in your organization.
Mm-hmm.
Take this deal to your boss. I guarantee you get noticed. Now, you know we good for the money. Let's just say Joe got Bitcoins flooding his way. And $5 million. That ain't nothing.
See what I can do. I'll make it happen.
Thanks. Hey, Big Road. Yeah, man, it's done. Yeah, let everybody know. All right.
Hello, man.
Hi.
My name is Joe Israel, and I'm here to see Mr. Walker.
Okay. I'll check to see if you're on his list. You are. Mr. Walker is expecting you.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to buzz you in. I'll tell you where his office is. You'll go out the door, second door on your left.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thanks. Have a nice day.
Thank you. You too.
How you doing, sir?
How you doing, Joe?
I'm great. Yourself?
Yeah, excuse my seat.
No problem.
Look, man, I brought you in. Thank you for coming in.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Absolutely.
Ready to get to work. Ready to get to work.
Yes, sir. I understand, but if you notice when you came in outside, it's dark.
Yeah, yes.
And you know, I've built this company by coming in early and leaving late.
I respect that, sir. I have a hard work ethic, and I believe in the same attribute.
Yes, sir. We're a Fortune 500 company, and we have a very high esteem here.
I respect that.
With that being said, I can't just hire anybody.
Absolutely.
And I've been notified by the HR department that you've got a little situation.
Situation. There must be some discrepancy, sir. I don't have a situation.
Well, to be clear on that, there's a substance abuse problem, a drug problem. That you have.
Oh no, sir. They must have gotten the urine samples mixed up. I've never seen, touched, tasted, smelled, held hands with. Oh no, never in my entire life.
Never in your entire life.
In my entire life have I ever seen, touched, tasted, smelled, walked with,
and you'll
friends
say
with.
that on the record.
Absolutely, never.
Well, let me show this to you. Do you know who that is? Have you seen this before?
Yes, sir. That's me. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. That.
Let me just, hold on. Just let me save you. Listen, man.
That's a mistake. That's a mistake, sir.
Yeah, I understand. I've seen this before. Clearly, you don't see yourself. You know, you've got a lot of dreams, you got a lot of aspirations, and you've got some great things coming forward. And the problem is, you just need to get yourself together, Doc. I don't have time, nor do I have the ability to keep you on right now.
Sir, you can test me. I submit the drug testing. I don't have a drug problem.
I cannot. I can't do it. I can't do it, man. I'm sorry. Get yourself together. Go sit on the couch. Maybe let them sweat you out a little while. You get the shakes out the way, and then come back in 18. Then maybe we can talk. I got to go, man. I got another meeting. I'm sorry.
Sir,
I got to go. There's the door. We appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Come on, young blood.
Boss, I really appreciate you taking this meeting. I know how you all talk about talking on the cell phone, so I really appreciate it.
Let's get down to the business.
I got a buyer that want 100 keys of your finest stuff.
100
Money
keys.
is in the option.
100 keys, that's a lot. He got money like that?
I mean, the boy's stunting all the time. I mean, he's some kind of computer genius, but he's into those Bitcoins and money flowing his way, so that's not an issue.
Well, yeah, I hear about this Bitcoin things and how lucrative it is and things of that nature. What's this guy's name? I mean, you got to give me something else. What's his name?
His name is Joe, but he go by Big Joe on the street.
Big Joe. Yeah, I hear this Big Joe guy out here making little moves and whatnot. I tell you what, this is what we're going to do. I need you to go ahead and get the deal set up, but I need you to be careful out there, because if anything go wrong out there in them streets, I'm here to tell you, I take it very, very personal. So you go out there and you be careful, and then let me know how it go down. That's all I got for you.
Chief, I think we finally got a break on that cyber case. We got a new big-time player on our radar. They call him Big Joe.
Is this information solid?
See, I was listening into one of the house wiretaps of the kingpin that we've been investigating. One of his stupid runners came in, gave us everything we need to take this guy down.
We need to make sure this is airtight and done quietly. Do not want to alarm this guy. Matter of fact, you get 2 of those agents from cyber crimes, and y'all go get this Big Joe character. Take a jet, and I tell you what, do it fast and clean.
Yes, sir. Consider it done. Big Joe is going down.
Let's go answer my phone call. Hello, is it me you're looking for? Try to scan.
What up, bro? Yeah, I know I'm not the person that you wanted to talk to, but my girl in there putting on something real special for me.
What?
You know, we about to get our Al Green on. You know, got a little Netflix and chill that's about to happen. You know, some of you might not never know about. But you know, when she get back in there, I'll tell her you call.
Bro, I know you're not this foul. I know you ain't this foul, bro.
But one thing, man, you got some big old draws. Yo, girl. No, man, I told you, if you snooze, you lose. This one here is mine, dog. I know you always wanted some nieces and nephews. I promise I'm gonna get you that. I can see him now. Uncle Joe, Uncle Joe. No, make sure they look just like me, man. But you know what? I'm gonna let you hear it. You know, see how it really goes down.
Are you kidding me, man?
But hold on, I think she coming. So I need you to be real quiet.
Wait a... Hey! What you doing in my car? Hey, man! Hey, man, what you doing in my car?
Hold on, please back up, sir. Please,
hey, bro,
please.
what are you doing, man?
Hold on, I got an order here, man. We gotta come get this car.
Man, I paid my car on last...
Man, I ain't got nothing to do with that. You look, pay your car, no, I just know...
You just back up, man. I'm calling police right now.
Look, man, you don't need to call the police. What you need to do is start running from the police.
What?
Yeah, and by the way, man, I got a message from your brother Dan. He said, look who laughing in.
What? Man, you gotta back up with my car, man.
Let's go.
Man, I paid my car note, man.
Hold on, man.
I'm calling the police. Man, you gonna break my phone too? I'm calling the police. My brother Dan.
Your brother Dan, man.
Man, how you, wait.
Your brother Dan, he said, look who laughing now.
Take his car, his girl.
Man, that business deal he about to have. That devastator.
All of that.
Y'all trying to steal my car, man. Tag number.
Yeah, let's get out of here, man.
Trying to take my car, man. Taking my car? I just paid my car note.
Freeze! FBI!
What? Wait a minute, what are y'all doing?
Go ahead.
Hey, man. Hey, can we, Rodney King, can we all get along? Hey, man, y'all heard Black Lives Matter? What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? Y'all, you want to be bad. You gonna send this woman to lock me up, but you want to be bad. She got the handcuffs on me. I can't believe y'all. Ain't about nothing, man. This is a real junk, man. Police brutality. This don't make no sense here, man.
You have a right to remain silent, sir. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have a right to an attorney.
This ain't right. Y'all ain't about nothing.
If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided for you. Do you understand these rights?
Now I know why Ice Cube wrote that song about the police. My name is Joseph. Colloquially, they call me Big Joe. Let me tell you something about my family. You may not know a whole lot about me, but you know a whole lot about my great-grandfather. His name was Abraham. He's the progenitor of the Hebrew faith. He's called the father of the faithful. As a matter of fact, he's so special that even in the New Testament, they talked about him as being the ultimate ancestor of Jesus. He was a bad fella. Abraham was interesting because a lot of who I am is in my family lineage. Abraham was told by God that he was going to be the father of the faithful. That's my great-grandpa. But he had to leave family in Ur and travel through Haran and ultimately walk all over Mesopotamia. One day he had an issue with his nephew, whose name was Lot. They had to separate because they couldn't handle the favor that was on both of their lives. Abraham was interesting. Abraham had my grandfather. His name was Isaac. He's in the second of the lineage, the second progenitor of Hebrew faith. And what's interesting, I found out a little while ago that my grandfather Isaac also had some family challenges. Just like Abraham, my great-granddad had some issues with his family. They had to leave, and his nephew Lot. My grandfather had some issues with his brother, whose name was Ishmael. Their brothers, they were brothers, but their issues were so significant that they were separated, that they didn't hate, they hated each other. In so much that right now in the 21st century, you'll discover in the Middle East that my grandfather Isaac, his descendants are the Israelis, but his brother Ishmael, his descendants are the Arabs or the Palestinians. And to this day, right now, brothers, the ancestors and the descendants are still at war because of issues within their family. And then my daddy, his name was Jacob. It's interesting because the same craziness that my granddaddy had, my great-grandfather had with his family and with his nephew, the same issues that my grandfather Isaac had with his brother Ishmael, my daddy had issues that was even prenatal issues. As a matter of fact, my dad, when he was in the womb of his mother, it's significant that he was a twin in the womb. And in the womb, my father was fighting with his twin brother, trying to find out who was going to come out first. They were trying to pull each other by the heels as babies. And they named my father Jacob, which meant trickster. It meant supplanter. He tricked folk his entire life until one day the trickster got tricked himself. Fortunately, God changed his name from Jacob to Israel, but he had a bad lineage. And just like my grandfather Isaac had problems with his brother Ishmael, and just like my daddy Jacob had problems with his brother Esau, don't think it's strange now. Those fellas you saw on the screen, my brothers, they got problems with me, and I got problems with them. You know, don't think it's strange that some of the craziness that was in my lineage for 3 previous generations was also in my lineage. And let me give you a word of warning. Always be careful about what's in your lineage. That's why when you go to the doctors, they ask you questions about your medical history. They ask you about your family, your father, a history of illness. Some of you, they may even ask you questions about mental illness. As a matter of fact, some of y'all need a notepad to go and tell them all the mental ill folks that are in your family, because if we be honest, a lot of us have had struggles within our families. This is why it's important to be real about that, because just like things can happen to us, we have a genetic predisposition to certain things. Certain dysfunctions that you may have been around environmentally can be a dysfunction for you. As a matter of fact, people who had parents to die of cancer are more susceptible to have cancer themselves. People who had a history of alcoholism can run in your family. So don't think it is bad about me that my brothers are tripping on me, because in my entire history, all of us got a history of craziness. And let me explain, this is why you gotta be honest, like I'm being honest with you. Because craziness runs in all of our families. I know some of you guys go to church and you think that Big Joe, my brothers, Dan and Reuben and Ben and Zeb, those guys are wrong, like we're unique, like we're the Addams family. Well, listen, If we're the Addams family, some of you are the monsters, because all of us have some dysfunction in our family. This is why we can't judge or look down on people, but you got to be able to know what kind of dysfunctions, what kind of devils, what kind of demonic cycles may be in your lineage, so you know what to pray for. As a matter of fact, you all pray for it, so if you are a fool and if foolishness runs in your family, then you ought to go to God and ask the Holy Spirit to let you be the last fool in your family, so that the stuff that's in you, you don't pass it on to the next generation. That's why we got to be honest with our kids about our past, our backgrounds, because if they don't know their history, often they're doomed to repeat it. And so my brothers have tripped on me. My brothers don't like me. You saw them. You saw how they handle me. They don't like me. And all the time, they don't like me because, let me tell you why they don't like me. They don't like me in a large part also because of my dad. My dad was Jacob, and my mother, her name was Rachel. I was the 11th of my dad's kids. I was the first kid that my dad had with his wife, Rachel. He loved my mama because my mama was pretty. He loved her, and his first wife, her name was Leah, and she was ugly. As a matter of fact, she had cockeye, but my mama was fine. She had hair like raven's feathers. She had kneecaps like diamond. Her teeth were like the king of the solar system. Her breath smelled like carnation milk. I'm telling you, my mama, Rachel, was fine. And so when my mama and my daddy had me, they named me Joseph. But my older 10 brothers didn't like me because my dad liked me, because when he looked at them, they reminded him of his ugly wife, Leah. But when he looked at me, I reminded him of that good-looking wife that he had, my mama by the name of Rachel. But let me be honest with you. While I'm being funny, let me be honest with you. You saw my brothers do me wrong. They jacked me up. That's why I'm in this predicament tonight. But let me share something with you. My dad loved me so much that he did something that's a tragic mistake that a lot of parents do. My dad gave me a coat. You saw that coat on the screen. A coat of many colors. My dad played favorites with me and gave me something that he didn't give the other ones. And as a result, I knew that I had more favor with my dad than my other brothers. And because of that, I would wear the coat to rub it in their faces. Let me explain to you what was going on. My dad was not the firstborn. His brother Esau came out before him, and he got the birthright. But one day my dad, when my grandfather got old, my dad tricked his father to get his brother's birthright. And so it seems like my dad did a lot of things for me to get over his insecurities. And so a lot of dysfunction was passed on me, and I didn't want to ever live my life like I had to get over. And so my dad gave me a coat. It was a coat of favor. And the problem I had is a problem that you have. What happens when you're wearing favor and you've been given favor, but you don't know how to properly wear or handle your favor? That's the problem I had. I had this nice coat. I was favored by my daddy, but I didn't know how to handle my favor. As a matter of fact, I knew my brothers didn't like me, so it made me be more ugly. It made me more arrogant and conceited toward them, because I had some deep insecurities. And so because I was insecure because they didn't like me, I masked my insecurity with arrogance. And that's when you will know. When you see somebody that's really arrogant, you'll understand they were like me when I was young, wearing favor, but really have some internal insecurities. So we try to dress our insecurities up with clothes, with cars, with hair, with all these things to make ourselves look better, because internally we don't like ourselves. And so what arrogance really is masked insecurity. So the next time you see somebody that's arrogant and prideful, like you saw me being arrogant and prideful, please don't get mad at me. Be sorry for arrogant people, because arrogant people have a hole in their heart and they need somebody to see them because they don't like what they see. But when you get beyond your insecurities, then you can get to another level of deliverance. But I couldn't handle my favor. As a matter of fact, my father gave me the coat, but I wasn't prepared for the coat. I didn't have what was needed. I didn't have the character to handle the favor. And sometimes, family, you got to be careful that you don't get favor too soon. Because favor too soon, promotion but no process, can leave you in a pit. And every now and then, what God will have to do is to allow the character on our lives to catch up with the gift and the favor that's on our lives. And what God will do is doing what he's doing for me. Got me in a bad situation. He's got me in a very dark place. But you know why I'm in this dark place? I'm in a dark place because some of you remember before you had your camera on your phone. Some of you remember before you had the Polaroid, when you can take the picture and the thing came out the bottom and you put your hands on the white part and shake it because you didn't want to get your fingerprint on the image. It's called a Polaroid. Well, before that, some of y'all remember they had a 35mm camera. You took that camera and the picture didn't come out. You couldn't upload it to your laptop. You had to take that thing, which was called film, down to Eckerd Drugs. And you went to Eckerd Drugs and turned to the right and went to the counter and said, I want these back. They said, give me the film. You gave them the film. They said, come back in 3 days. You know why you had to come back in 3 days? Because Eckerd Drugs had a subcontract with somebody who had a room called a dark room. And they take the film in the dark room and cut all the lights out. Why? Because the film can't be developed if it's too much light on it. It had to spend some time in darkness because the darkness is necessary for development. And some of you had some darkness that you had to face in 2017. And you've been cursed in the darkness, trying to figure out why you're going through the darkness. And maybe God has put you in this predicament like me last year, this past year, so that you can develop in the darkness. So when the light comes on, you can be prepared for your next assignment. Whatever you do, don't ever curse the darkness, because why? Because your God does his best work in the dark. It was dark when his voice broke through the silence of the not yet universe and said, let there be light. It was dark when Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego went in a dark furnace. It was dark when Jonah went in the belly of the whale. It was dark when Daniel spent all night long in the lion's den. And it was dark when Jesus died on the cross. It was dark when he went in the grave. It was dark, but early Sunday morning, he got up with all power in his hands. God often does his best work when you're in the dark room. And so here am I. Here am I dealing with these dark police officers that you would think would have given me a break. After all they've seen with police brutality, you think they were looked out for, brother, but you know, it is what it is. I'm in the dark room. And so my brothers sold me out because I would go and tell different things on them. I had a dream about being great. I had a dream that they were going to bow down to me with my coat because I didn't like myself. I kept having dreams about them, me being over them. I even had a dream that my own daddy was going to bow for me. And I knew they hated me, but I kept being messy and making a messy situation worse. You saw them throw me in the pit. You saw them set me up. But in a real sense, even though they were wrong in what they did, in a real sense, I helped to create the environment. I'm not going to play the victim tonight. I'm not going to make you think, woe is me, I'm just sweet, Big Joe. No, I helped to create some of the consequences that I'm experiencing right now. And a lot of us love to blame other folk, love to blame the man, love to blame the white man because I can't get a job, love to blame the system. There are a lot of men around this place right now want to blame your mama and blame your daddy because he wasn't there and he didn't pay child support. And here you 50 years old still being irresponsible because you're saying your daddy was not there. Well, man, what do you want your daddy to do? Come back and take you to Cub Scouts at 50? At some point in your life, you got to grow up and say, you know what? I can't control what happened to me, but I can control the outcome of my situation. No more victim mentalities. I helped to create the environment. And so my brothers, all of them said, we're going to sell him out. We're going to make sure that he's dead. As a matter of fact, my brother Reuben stood up for me and said, no, just throw him in the pit. And then when my brother Reuben left, they decided to kill me anyhow. They were gonna kill me without my brother Reuben's permission. But let me tell you what happened. I had another brother who said, no, Reuben told us that we shouldn't kill him. I had another brother who said, no, let's don't kill him, let's just sell him. Don't kill him, put him in the pit. Don't kill him, let's sell him. Let's sell him out to the man. Let's make sure he gets locked up. Let's put him in a bad situation. My brother Reuben didn't want me to be killed. My other brothers wanted me to be killed, but there was one brother that stepped in to make sure I wasn't gonna die. And it's interesting that his name was Judah. And if you look up the name Judah means praise. And so can I tell you, the only reason I'm not dead tonight, because praise stepped in and saved my life. And I wish I had somebody around this house who can testify that you could have been dead too, that you should have been gone too, that you had a weapon of warfare that was not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds. There's somebody who can shout tonight, like Paul and Silas, I've been locked up at midnight, but instead of having a pity party, I had a praise party. I put a praise on it, and praise can give the devil a nervous breakdown. And some of you have spent 364 days and haven't given God no praise yet, but I double dog dare you in these next 15 minutes to give God a praise like you know he's worthy, because you here, because praise saved your life. A dance saved your life. And if it had not been for the Lord, I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to be preaching here in this jail. And let me tell you what happened. They put me here in a bad pit. They put me on a plane. This plane here represents my jail. This plane here represents my captivity. This plane here represents my destruction. This plane represents that my life is going to be over. But can I tell you what happened? When I got on the plane, I heard the flight attendant say that in case of turbulence, and in case that this aircraft ends up in water, what you can simply do is you can pull on the seat and pull the seat out, because this seat here can serve as a flotation device, which means you need something that can hold you up to keep you from drowning when it seems like the world is going to take you out. And can I tell you what this represents? This cushion here represents my praise, because praise kept my head up when I wanted to die. Praise kept my head up when I thought my life was over. And is there anybody else in this house can look back over the past chapter of your life and thank God you had somebody who can praise and pray for you? Let's be honest, some of us are here tonight because we had somebody who prayed for us. And I'm so glad my mama prayed for me, had me on her mind. She took the time and she prayed for me. Are there any praisers around this house? If you're a praiser, then let the redeemed of the Lord. Lord have mercy. I said, let the redeemed. And so here I am. Here I am. I'm on my way to pit. I'm on my way to a place. They sold me into Egypt. They took me to Potiphar, who was an experienced centurion. He was an experienced leader, a man of significance. He brought me into his house. My brothers messed me up, but he brought me into his house and gave me everything. But the problem I had, his wife was sweet on me. And when her husband was gone to work, she'd be winking at me because she couldn't handle the fineness of Big Joe. And she kept winking at Big Joe. And I'd go in the other room and she tried to seduce me. And I told her I couldn't do that, because even though I was stupid when I was younger, I realize now that since God saved my life when I was stupid, that I made up my mind I can't do stupid stuff, because it's an embarrassment. It's a slap in the face of God. If God brought you out of something that could have killed you and has given you another chance, don't take advantage of his grace, but try to live a life that honors the God who brought you out the dirt, who brought you out the muck and mire. Is there anybody can look back over your life and see some stuff God kept you from? Well, don't run back to the stuff that God delivered you from. Let the dog change your life and say, I want to be better. As a matter of fact, time out to shout, in 2018, I want to be better. I want to be better in my spirit, better in my emotions, better better in my thought process, better in my life, better in my spirituality, better in my vision, better in my purpose, better in my finances, better in my health, better on the job, better with my anointing, better in breakthrough, better in deliverance, better in promotion, better in prosperity, better in my career. Does anybody want better in your life? And so what she did for me the same thing my dirty brothers did. She concocted a lie. Now, I'm not telling you I was innocent. I've been honest. I helped create the situation, but I didn't do what my dirty, low-down brothers did. I didn't deserve that, how they treated me. And so they got me locked up. They lied. And that's what Potiphar's wife did. She came to her husband and told her husband, I tried to take advantage of her. And I lost everything I had, everything I worked for. And it seemed like God was taking me into an even darker room. They put me, if you will, on a plane, and they took me to prison to spend the rest of my life decaying, to spend the rest of my life in disaster, disconnected from my purpose, stuck on stupid, to spend the rest of my life with a jail cell for something I did not do. Now, it's just interesting. I'll be honest, there's some things that I did do to deserve this. But let me tell you something. I thank God that you and I have all done some things that were supposed to get us messed up. But shouldn't you thank God for the mercy of God? Because instead of complaining about where I am, you all thank God it could be worse. That he met you every morning with a brand new set of mercies. Listen, I lost my position, I lost my reputation, but what I did not lose my mind. And you ought to thank God that although some people falsely accuse you and you had some bad stuff to come back on you, you all give God praise that you kept your mind. You may have lost friends, you may have lost money, you may have lost convictions, you may have lost some positions, but the fact that you didn't put your shoes on your head and your socks on your hands is a testimony that God will keep you in the right mind. As a matter of fact, I'm so glad I don't live in your time, because I heard y'all got a new president, and my God, and the stuff he's doing should make all y'all lose your mind. But isn't it wonderful that you can still hold your chest out no matter who's the president, because you understand the same God that took care of Nebuchadnezzar can take care of your president. The same God who took care of Belshazzar can take care of your president. The same God who took care of Nebuchadnezzar, the same God who took care of Cyrus, the same God who took care of Darius, the same God who took care of Alexander the Great, the same God who took care of Julius Caesar, the same God who took care of Idumea and Antipater, the same God who took care of Herod Agrippa, the same God who took care of Aristobulus or killing, the same God who took care of Caesar Augustus, the same God who took care of Nero, the same God who took care of Tiberius, the same God who took care of Augustus, the same God who took care of Domitian. He's the same God who will take care of you. And you all shout right now, I've never seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging for bread. My brothers sold me out, and they thought that when I got on this plane, that I was going to be going into devastation. They thought the plane was going to take me down. But what they didn't realize, like you around this church, the seed had been planted. The seed of vision, the seed of greatness. The seed had been planted, but the problem, I needed time for the seed to develop. I needed time for the seed to germinate. I needed, see, because when the seed is planted, in order for the seed to produce, you gotta dig something up and then stick it in the ground. And then you got to stick it in the ground and then put dirt on top of it. And then once you put dirt on top of it, the best thing that you do that my grandmama did is she didn't go to the farmer's market to buy fertilizer. No, she would let the dogs come and take a squat around the dirt where the seed had been planted, because my grandma believed that the best fertilizer was not bought, the best fertilizer, she called it fecal matter. She called it feces. She called it bowel movement. She called it manure. She called it boo-boo. She believed that mess, manure, dung, that when something is planted, when you put some manure, some mess, some dung about it, that even though it's messy, what you don't understand is mess is the best fertilizer. Some of that went over some of y'all heads. You know why I'm on this plane? Because it's messy. But you know what? It takes the mess to help you to grow. It takes you being in messy predicaments for you to understand. And so my brothers thought that when they sold me and put me on this plane, that I was not going to elevate, but I was going to go down to never rise no more. Then I heard the pilot come on. And the pilot says, make sure that your seats are fastened. The pilot said, I checked what's going on in the stratosphere, and there's some climatic challenges. And once I get up, I want you to know that you may have to endure some turbulence. And once it gets up, the turbulence may come, but don't be alarmed. As a matter of fact, the pilot said you got to understand the first law of thermodynamics, which is wherever there is motion, there's got to be friction. See, you got to understand that a plane can't elevate without turbulence. That the thing that makes the plane excel is turbulence has to come into the life. And what I want you to understand is maybe your turbulence was God's way of creating an atmosphere for you to go higher. And what I love about it, the pilot said, listen, we're getting ready to taxi because you're taking off. And I said to myself, Lord, what's going to happen to me? Lord, am I going to be disconnected? Lord, am I going to be in jail? But what happened when I was in jail? My God, my gifts start to come out. When I was in jail, when I was on my way, the stuff that I thought I could not do, God showed me I still had my gift. And what happened to me when I started to taxi, I started to taxi because it let me know I was getting ready to go somewhere. And I wish you shake a neighbor's hand and say, it's all right when you taxi. It's all right when you taxi, because the taxi is just preparation. You don't get on planes to go low. You get on planes because you're getting ready to elevate. Find another neighbor and say, all year long I've been taxiing. When I was crying all through the night, I was taxing. When I was scratching my head out, I was taxing. I was taxing because I didn't understand at the time that God had another dimension. God had another level. And I came to tell you, in these next 4 minutes, it's going to be a time of taxi. I want you to get your stomach ready. And guess what? In case of turbulence, in case of air cabin pressure and a loss, a mass is going to come down. And that's going to give you wind. It's going to be oxygen. And that is the oxygen of the Holy Ghost. And so if you're in a bad situation, put the mask on yourself first. Don't worry about nobody else's Holy Ghost. Make sure you got the Holy Ghost and ask the Lord to breathe on me. Do I have a witness in the building? And so here I am. I'm getting ready to taxi. Shake a neighbor's hand and say, we're getting ready to go somewhere. You've gone through the seed. You spent some time in time, and now you're getting ready to taxi into your harvest. I wish I had somebody to shout, taxi on, Joe. I wish somebody said, Joe, I'm looking for a miracle. Joe, I can see the invisible, because the sky is the limit to what I can have. I'm getting ready to close in now, but I'm getting ready to taxi. Are y'all going to taxi with me? But now what we need to do is, there anybody been in some dark rooms? Is there anybody made some mistakes? Can anybody look at your life and say, I did some things to myself, but God, don't let me go down. I need you to let me taxi so I can take off. And guess what, y'all? It's time to take off now. It's time to take off into a new horizon. It's time to take off into a new dimension. It's time to take off into a new territory. I need somebody to shake a neighbor's hand and say, neighbor, I'm getting ready to take off to another level. As a matter of fact, 2018 is going to be the best year of my life. Oh, are y'all ready to take off?
Shake your neighbor's hand and say, neighbor, out of all the hell you've been through, it's time now for you to take on off. Say, neighbor, you've been in the night too long, but we've been made endure for the night. But joy is coming in the morning. Can I tell y'all what happened? I got promoted to be second in command over Egypt. And those same brothers who sold me out had to come and one day get resources from the same guy that they sold out. Be careful who you dig a ditch for, because the ditch you're setting for somebody else might just be for you. And I told my brothers, I ain't mad at y'all, because what y'all meant for evil, the Lord meant for good. What I want you to do is clap your hands and shout, I'm ready to go to a new dimension. I'm ready to go beyond the clouds. I'm ready to walk out of 17, to walk into 18, to walk into a new horizon. Are y'all ready? Shake your neighbor's hand and say, neighbor, we're going together. You got 15 seconds to give God your best praise. If you're going, don't wait till the battle's over. Shout! 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 Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? Be not dismayed. Whatever the time, we're taking off. We're taking off. We're taking off. Shout yeah! Everybody, welcome. 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 Y'all being sedated. I said welcome. Y'all being bougie. I said welcome.